Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. Good day, my good people. I hope I find you well. Right. Let me just come and give you just a few updates pertaining to certain things. Right. It's one thing to keep people entertained, but it's a totally different ball game altogether to keep people informed. I'm the informant. The only thing I bring on platforms is none other than information. Anything outside of that, it's not within my jurisdiction. Right, I posted about the returns of the bones of Mbuyane and Sekuru Kagui. To other people, it's not information they want to hear. All they want to hear about is the fights that's going on within the Zanu PF. The vice president camp against the sitting president's camp. But when these things, we are highlighting them, as much as it's not making sense to a lot of people, don't forget the Monumutapa kingdom. I'll come back again with the issue of the bones, the Monumutapa kingdom, and where this is all heading up to. Because some people take time before their eyes are open. In my vernacular language, they say, so when some people have information, sit back, relax, keep following. You will see that all the threads will end up coming together and it will start to make sense one day. Then the other issue that I would want to correct people on, or in fact advise people on, or inform people about, it is the issue pertaining the in-house fight between the Zanu PF. As you all know, some posts have come through saying that Tagwireyi has been infused into the central committee. Others are saying Comrade Muchangwa has come denying all of that. You can start to speculate. You can speak from whichever angle you want. Everyone will come and justify whichever side they are coming from. You take people. I've heard some on some other platforms. This other young guy called Traore trying to justify the Baba Gamu side. When I'm talking about the Baba Gamu side, I'm talking about the VP side. Constantine Gouverne, Dominic Nyigadzino Chirenga. He's known from within his side, within his own people, as Baba Gam. In case you didn't know, that's how they call him. Right. So he comes, he's justifying, pertaining the situation that's happening. What I first want people like that to accept is there is no more M31. Like I said, dead and buried. If they don't accept that or come out accepting that, then I don't know from what motive they are trying to push people to. At the very same time, the sitting president's camp, which is supported or spearheaded when it comes to legal matters by Comrade Chamisa, it comes out and posts the inception of Tagwireyi into the central committee, causing now a lot of confusion. We have two characters here that's appearing before people, or that's posting or commenting or coming before people to try and address. Comrade Muchangwa, who's now on the VP side, and Comrade Chamisa, who's on the sitting president side. So people are left confused. They don't know what the truth is. But one thing I've got to tell you, and the best advice I can give you right now, first and foremost, allow for the expiration of the SADC chairmanship. Number two, wait until the next sitting of the central committee. If you see after that, letters would have to be served to the people who are being co-opted, and these letters, they come from within the central committee. You have never heard of those letters. Nothing has been confirmed yet. It's just speculation and posts. Those are mere posts. Anything that comes within the party of Zanu PF, especially when it comes into the integration into the central committee, it's aided or supported, or it's actually cemented by a letter of service, letter of acceptance, and letter of acknowledgement, above all, letter of welcome. Those letters haven't been served yet. So for now, don't look or listen to whatever is being said. Wait until their next meeting so that you just get the truth as it stands. Whatever Comrade Muchangwa is saying, you can discredit him, you might not discredit him, but as of now, take it with a pinch of salt. It's me who's telling you. At the very same time, whatever is being posted by Comrade Chamisa, let me tell you, still take it with a pinch of salt, because the proper formalities haven't been done. Until all that is done, and the next sitting of the Central Committee comes live, you will see who's in there, who's being accepted, who hasn't been accepted. At the very same time, you also realize that you were playing just a ball without air inside. So for now, that settles that matter pertaining the core option of Kuda Tagwireyi. We can only leave that now for bloggers who would want more obvious to entertain people, who would want obvious to get people to say what they think. But the most important thing is what I have just told you. The next sitting of the Central Committee will determine to you honestly what's the correct position pertaining the Kuda Tagwireyi inception into the Central Committee. Right, let me move to a different issue. The other issue that I've got is, I posted and I said, Nelson Chamisa, the minute you mention that name, it's like you have provoked certain people. Advocate Thabani posted what I thought was a very on-point post. It's not warning, but informing Nelson Chamisa that it's not every person who says something negative about you or about the situation who hates you. Which I said, this is correct. At the very same time, it's not every person who's supporting who's for you. And he said quite a number of things. In a nutshell, basically he was saying, there are some people that don't live because of Nelson Chamisa. And there are some people who are no longer seeing Nelson Chamisa as their hopeful candidate. While this, he also went on to put a salutation, which I think was very intelligent, to say as much as we have got all this mess, we still have got the only horse to trust in Nelson Chamisa. That's when I stepped in and challenged and said, right, if he be the only horse according to Advocate Thabani Mpofu, if Nelson Chamisa is still being touted or being sold to the people to be the only horse that people have to trust on, especially to the rest as opposition, there's things that I still need to have verified pertaining to people that follow him. Number one, he adopted a party which carries what I call the DNA of opposition, which is the MDC, which Douglas Monzori is sitting on as the president of that party. If people want to revert back to the originality of opposition, I still want to believe that things should be done to go and get that party from Douglas Monzori if they feel that he's not the right candidate to be leading that party, of which you can say he's not. Because right now, Douglas Monzori doesn't have followers. He can just have about 10, 15, 20 people from within his side. He has got a small following of him. Be it it's 1%, 2%, 3%, or 10% of the original MDC. He has got his own niche. But at the very same time, from the look of things and from the presentation, he doesn't look like he is the best candidate for what people want. So if Nelson Chamisa is to come back into politics, of which he is already in politics, but honestly, he knows that he messed up. Honestly, he knows that he has run short of ideas. But he just can't go quiet, and he just can't keep quiet at the very same time. He still wants to play within the politics. It's no secret. Every person who has been into politics or has tried to form a political party, Kuda Tagwireyi has been a financer before. I am saying this in regards to the Vice President, Constantine Gouveia Chiwenga. There was a time he was being supported by Kuda Tagwireyi. There was a time also when Nelson Chamisa was being supported by Kuda Tagwireyi. When his support, it was financial support. So those people are having a serious issues in fighting within the political circles, because they got to consider him as once their financer. But because there's differences pertaining to how things have unraveled, no one ever expected Kuda Tagwireyi to be vying for any position or post within the sitting party. He was just being seen as one of the financiers. So with Tagwireyi now stepping into politics, it's going to hinder chances for Nelson Chamisa to be president. If ever he still has got that dream, of which I know he has, it's going to hinder the chances of the vice president, Constantine Governor Dominic Chiwenga, because he knows Tagwireyi is financially secure for him to push for what he wants. And the fact that if he steps into the Central Committee, it's going to be dog eat dog there. You know, most of the time, Tagwireyi used to be served by information or with information that would have been discussed within the Central Committee before he makes any decisions. But this time, if he sits in there, and no one will ever speak against Tagwireyi, because his financial prowess can have him to influence on who sits in and who goes out. So that's where the biggest dilemma is pertaining the inception of Tagwireyi into the Central Committee. Right now, on a third issue, the third issue comes as, while Zanu PF are having their own challenges, their own in-house challenges, which is known by all because it's now on public domain, I still want to believe if there is to be opposition, because right now we are a one-party state, so we just have to be patriotic. If ever there is going to be opposition, right, number one, there's not supposed to be formation of any other political party. The reason I'm saying this, a political party was formed with more support and more influence pertaining because of their leader, Nelson Chamisa. It was in Triple C. That one, the fact he lost it, it tells you that he hasn't given people guarantee or assurance that even if he forms another party, he is still going to be able to defend it, not to be taken away from him. Nelson Chamisa formed Triple C. His own baby that everyone saw, him carrying the pregnancy for the 9 months, he formed it from scratch. It's his own baby. So forming another party when you have just abandoned your own baby because somebody came and made claims, to me, he should fight to get Triple C back. That alone will prove that now this time he has got the capacity to fight the system that he wants to fight. You cannot continue to form parties. Only blinded supporters will follow him because of that. Middle class people, upper top class people, they are not interested in all that. All they want, he has got to prove himself, to say, right, you know what, I'm Nelson Chamisa, once followed by people. I accumulated 2 million votes for the during the presidential elections. Right, I'm back. Well, the first step I want to do, I want to go and recover my baby from Sengezo Shabangu. That way, it makes sense. Or he says, right, I once adopted a child, and this child was MDC, and I had the blessing to parent this child MDC. For that, I lost it to Douglas Monzori. All I'm saying is, I'm now asking for the whole community, the people that I used to work with, to all come together. We table this issue, because he has got the influence. Don't forget that. He has got the influence. Everyone knows that. He is the perfect race, he is the perfect horse for the next one, for the next race in opposition. But he mustn't undermine other people around him and think he's the very special one. So if ever MDC is to be put, they are supposed to table the issue and then limit powers pertaining the leadership, at the very same time the visionary, and how the party is going to be run. What does it mean? It means to say Chamisa is not going to come with absolute power to dictate for people, because it cannot be a one-person centered opposition party. He has got to welcome people like Tagwireyi, even if they don't agree on certain issues. Take notes from Zanu PF. You see, as much as they don't agree with each other, they know how to play politics. There is a time you jump boat, there is a time you agree, there is a time you disagree to agree. That's politics. But you can't allow your supporters to attack another person just because this person is not in agreement with you, and you keep quiet because of what the people are doing. As a leader, you have to be able to control it, because it's not everyone who's going to agree with you. So, to me, the best opposition to be formed is the repossession of MDC from Douglas Monzori. At the very same time, after repossessing it from him, give it back to the original person who was Chamisa, who was blessed to be the leader of that party. Don't throw away Monzore Douglas. Work with him, work alongside him, because he has got something to contribute. He also helps the leadership in the checks and balances. Welcome people like Tendai Biti back in there. It's no doubt, even within Zanu PF, they know that Tendai Biti is a very good opposition leader. And for that reason, he is good at speaking out at the very same time in checks and balances. Chamisa, if he feels Tendai Biti is a threat to him, it shows that he is lacking in the leadership capacity. In the very same manner, he has got to be able to accommodate such people. There's people like Mudzuri, there's people like Monzore, there's people like Job Sikala. They are all very good players within the political system. Even the people like Shabangu, get them back. Regardless of them coming to betray you, you've got to get them back. Once you can deal with such people, then you know you've got a good leader in opposition. What am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is very simple. Look at Comrade Manize. He is a trouble causer in Zanu PF, but they don't throw him away. They still keep him in there. That's how you have to learn how to manage people. You've got people like Welshman Ngube. I know. I'm told that he has now been reinstated as the Triple C president. There's drama within the opposition. The problem is they just can't all come together and table the issues. Everyone is trying to make sure that they are very relevant, but they should know that without the others, no one person is going to be irrelevant. They will all become irrelevant. Let me give you history pertaining to how I've followed on politics. I'm not a baby born yesterday. I'm not a born free person. I have seen political parties being formed and political parties disappearing. I can start even from the time of Bishop Abraham Zorewa. Bishop Abraham Zorewa, the former leader of UANC. By then, I was a grown-up chap. I saw the war. I participated in it. I know exactly what it is. People that stayed behind at home, people who direct the comrades, pertaining wherever we have gone. We were the ones doing all that. It was during our generation. So I'm not talking about something that I have read. I'm talking about something that I used to see and participate in. We used to have UANC. It came, it went. But when I start to look at MDC, and when I look at people like Triple C, then I look at the leadership of the people that have come there, people like Nelson Chamisa and the late Morgan Tagwireyi. To me, it's a replica of the former. All these things, it's a repetition of what we have seen. Let me tell you, Triple C is not the most popular opposition that have ever existed. There were two before Triple C. Number one, to the Zanu PF, there was UANC. Bishop Abraham Zorewa was once one of the most popular leaders within the Zimbabwean politics. At one point, he outshined everyone. But because he grew a big head and thought he is the main player, he is the man to be. Let me tell you, in 1979 elections, UANC, they won 67% of the seats. 6 months, just barely 6 months down the line, after the Lancaster Agreement, and the elections were now also pushed to be redone. When the elections went, UANC, they only got 3%, 3 seats within the seats, within the parliamentary seats. Who came in? Zanu PF came top, PF ZAP came second, then the Rhodesian Front were tied on 20 seats each. Rhodesian Front was 20, ZAP was 20, which was led by Joshua Nkomo. Zanu PF, it's 57%, so they had the majority rule. But this is just barely 6 months in between the elections. And the once popular person became a nobody. And when I see that, I'm looking at Nelson Chamisa. I'm saying, don't allow pride to step in. You can be the next Bishop Abraham Zorewa. Things have moved. Movements have been formed. Parties have come. Move from there. We had Zud led by the former intelligence officer within the president's office, Margaret Dongo, right? Starting in Sunningdale there. It was a powerful political party, winning ladies towards them. Before you know it, seeing that this one is going to be a big challenge to Zanu PF. They did not wait to stop it. Instead, Zoom with Edgar Tekere came up, 1989. We have Zoom leading into the 1990 elections. Let me tell you, at that point in time, it wasn't a talk about Zanu PF. It was a talk about Zoom. Zoom, Zimbabwe Unity Movement. They swallowed all the political parties only for people then to realize that it was a baby of Zanu PF because they had seen the threat of Zudu under Margaret Dongo. We moved on from there to come over. Now MDC is formed. We've got MDC. Morgan Tagwireyi has taken the opposition, pushing it, getting so popular. 2008, they even won the elections. Toppled because of power. I have since posted that if certain things that were requested by Morgan Tagwireyi are not changed within the systems, from the electrical reforms continuing on to everything else, what is it that the opposition has done that they think they can topple out Zanu PF? If there's nothing along those lines, people should learn to sit down. Trust me, people should learn to sit down. Dropa munoona ndichinyora paya kuti Zanu zvuno. It's all about knowing how these systems work, at the very same time looking at the history, tracing from the times of UANC, ZUD, Zoom, MDC, Triple C. Right now we don't even know what's being said to be a movement. Then somebody comes and tells me that, you know what, Advocate Nelson Chamisa knows what he's doing. No. He hit a brick wall. You cannot have anything that can support you and still fail to take over power. Never. All those people, Sadak was there. Hachilema tried the best he can to make sure that Nelson Chamisa is pushed in there. But it failed. What reason? Because of the systems. So if all those systems are not unlocked, if any other opposition political party, it's merely a waste of time. But I'm the very same person who's saying we need opposition. Opposition is there just to give the checks and balances, just to make sure that whatever is happening is controlled. But right now we don't have opposition. Henceforth we are in a situation where we are, and people are just saying anything. All those orphans that were left by Advocate Nelson Chamisa have tried to follow. Even a Nuno person like Nyoka Emabunu, I don't even know that young guy. But at the very same time, when he started to make clouds, he started to have a big following. And before you know it, he started to become too impactful. Henceforth, right now, he is locked behind bars. But I've got good news for you. Wait. Check September. If all goes according to plan, he's going to come out. But not for your political benefit and not for your political noise. He's going to come out just to live a normal life. So don't pressure him. And don't try and use him as a weapon for your interests. People have come, people have been used, and people have been dumped. A very good example, before I even go to Hopewell, Chimono, a very good example is Ivani Mawarire, Pastor Ivani Mawarire. He did whatever he did. Came elections, he never won. He contested for councillorship. He did not even win nothing. Regardless of how popular he was, you can be used in politics and be damned and be a forgotten person. So when you play politics, you really need to be very, very, very careful. Don't just do things to entertain people. When you are in it, make sure you are in it all by the whole of yourself. Don't be in it partly. Don't be in it by part-time. Be in it full-time. So I kindly advise people who step into the political arena that when you step in there, be very careful of what you are doing. The fourth thing, let me talk about, for the first time, let me talk about this young guy, Nyoka Emabunu. This Nyoka Emabunu guy is now seriously in trouble. But there's always people that know how to go and knock on certain doors to try and make sure that they plead for the forgiveness of the young men. You know, some things are done. These are just young guys. Born 1987, 1989. He's just a young boy. Yes, he made a name for himself. But there are now some people who are taking advantage of his situation to launch their political career. That should be very, very painful. Only if you're in his situation, you would know that you cannot monetize somebody's problem. You all need to come together. If you cannot solve differences amongst yourselves, listen, then you have no capacity, not even 1% of dealing with Zanu PF. You can have your own differences, but if you want to face up to Zanu PF, make sure you are very united. Your differences, your divisions, you have to put them aside. Most people that I see pertaining to this young Nyoka Mabono issue, these are people that are taking this situation to their advantage to launch their political careers. That should be limited. As of now, pertaining that young man's issue, just keep quiet and allow what's happening behind the scenes. Good news is, he's very close. That's all I can tell you. Remember, I'm the informant. Remember, I am the informant. Very soon, he is about to come out. For that reason, he is not coming back for politics. Because we don't negotiate on behalf of somebody for them to come and give other people problems. No, we just knock sense in them to tell them that these are young people, they make mistakes. You know, they were hyped by the support that they were getting from the media, social media, the events being claimed, the groups they created, they saw a following and they grew big-headed. But at the very same time, it's regardless of which political side you are, we make sure that we remain neutral. So when I speak things that you don't want to hear, please don't hate me. It's only that I'm not on your side. I have to remain neutral for me to be able to knock on certain doors. That young guy, his time, that's all I can tell you for now. But enjoy your day. I'm out for now. Goodbye.